Now, I need you to understand, audience. Yes, this is the 50th episode of this show. That is a little questionable, given some winter phase activities that we've had, but I swear those are separate from the regular timeline. But everyone else here is high energy impact, and I am teetering at low energy because it's so hot. And I know it's hot, and I keep going outside, and I don't really know why at this point. I had all these outdoor activity planned, and it just got way too hot, and now I'm fully committed to doing them. But yeah, that's it. Tomorrow, I'm staying indoors all day. Hey, look at that. There's some resubs happening from some guys who waited until the last second so it would show up on the stream. Spoon, do you want to, or should I wait?
He resubbed last episode.
Oh, he resubbed last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you go ahead. I
okay.
don't have one.
I would never want to cut you off from resubbing while I'm talking. I would never want to kill the bit with seriousness. Give me a fucking bit I won't miss. Well, I believe, gentlemen, we have a battle to get to.
We do.
Very well. I'm going to read from this book, Important Things. This is the Battle of Hertford, although because it's British, it's probably pronounced Ertford or something like that. Hartford. Of course, who doesn't pronounce an E as an A? Unbelievable. Yes, and my name is Earther, apparently.
I think actually it depends on where you're from in the UK. Some will call it Hartford, some will call it Hertford.
This is not a very big country. It does not need 40 different linguistic dialects, okay?
Well,
New York can get away with 5.
Doesn't need. It still have.
It definitely does not need them. It needs 1 linguistic dialect, and that's EastEnders, okay? There just needs to be a guy who shows up with a billy club, wearing suspenders, and a early 1900s button-up shirt that says, well, you fairy nonces. It's me, Bernard the Butcher. I'm about to get your knickers in a twist. That's the only accent the entirety of the United Kingdom needs. I'm including, the part of Ireland that's still part of the UK in that. Not the rest of Ireland. You're safe. You're good. Don't change your accent.
I had a person playing in an RPG set in the UK, and she made a character called Rebecca. And I made sure her best character was from York, just so I could call her Becky. Becky.
Okay.
You think in 10 to 15 years, people are going to have tabletop RPG characters named like Khaleesi or Justin Bieber or, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's going to be a knock-on effect where like the kids who grew up knowing Khaleesi as a legitimate name will start naming their characters Khaleesi. And I don't mean in like a Game of Thrones setting. I mean in like a sci-fi Star Wars setting, just showing up with a lightsaber and being like, I'm Khaleesi.
I mean, there probably already has been at some point.
Oh, how horrible. Trying to imagine. We don't live in that universe. All right, so we're here at Hartford. King Nantleode and Duke Corneus have marched together out of Lincoln and into Essex. The Britons plunder and pillage as the Essex army assembles. The gathering groups are scattered and destroyed. King Aethelwith, who you've previously paid an enormous amount of tribute to, that's AL. Well, the Angles come out of Anglia, shocking I know, to have a battle, a nice little battle. So this battle's size is medium, the amount of length is 2 rounds, and yeah. Let me open my King Arthur Pendragon. So we've got 2 rounds, which means both sides feel that this is a poor strategic consideration. There are no other strategic considerations. I will need our battalion commander to be selected, Spoon, probably. and then make your battalion commander roll to alter the lance skill of all of your knights. Now, it should be noted that your opponents this time are not Knights of Wessex. They are Saxons. Well, they're Angles of Anglia who use the Saxon chart. So they will not be mounted unless otherwise noted.
Okay. Let's see here.
I'm just looking here at Gloucester, thinking about...
Gloucester.
Yes, thinking about... But you've ruined my lead into the joke about Lord Murdershire.
That's a success on
That
battle.
is a success. Very well. All of you have a +0 going forward into the first charge. Each knight taking part in the first charge, you'll have to use a lance if you'd like to do it. Your lance skill is a +0. You get your +5, -5 going into this. I will select Glimo to roll a d20 first to see what your opponent is.
We should actually be.
You guys have been rolling like shit on this chart.
We should. Well, so unless they're armed with maybe it's great spears and lances that cancel the
Great
first
Spear
charge.
does in fact cancel it out, but these are cohorts who are not mounted and wield javelins, so they do not cancel it out.
So I think we should actually be getting a +10 then, because it's +10 for or +5 for the charge, and then +5 -5 for being mounted to fighting a footman.
Very well.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to blow these dudes away.
So these gentlemen have a notational marker. Is that the one for ransoming? Oh, they're missile armed. I believe that means they get to shoot first.
No, I mean, it depends on how you run it. So normally the way missile's supposed to work is that if you're fighting multiple enemies, missiles get to attack against you with no roll. But if you're engaging missile enemies in melee combat, they've got a dex score and they just run. So missile troops run from melee combat, basically. So you're rolling to hit them against their dexterity roll to escape.
Very well.
But if you're fighting multiple opponents, then in actuality, missile troops stand back behind the front line and just fire, and they get a free attack against you.
Well, I guess we'll see whether they can run or not versus your lance. Gentlemen, your lance skills, if you would, please. All right, that 19 is going to be pretty impossible to beat. I think I basically need a critical.
But we're not all charging the same guy, I don't think.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
they all get to roll.
Yeah, I did roll. I did 3 rolls.
Yep.
Guys, I did it. I did the rolls. I don't think any of them succeed, actually. Let me just triple check.
I mean, they probably get partial successes.
But they're not trying to fight you. They're trying to run.
Yeah.
They get to use their shields, though.
Yes. With their 1 armor, I'm sure the shield will make a big difference. They do get to use their shields. You are correct. So, the first 2 get shields, and the last one doesn't. Actually, their dex is higher than I thought.
Oh, those are some terrible horse damage rolls.
Yeah,
right?
wow.
Yeah, you guys
3
rolled like
ones
shit.
on mine.
Yeah.
3 ones on Kendric's too.
Yeah. I just also got 2 6s.
So all 3 of these are pretty bad wounds to these people. However, they are not worthy of a ransom price, and they don't have anything of value to take either. You just run down some armed peasants. Okay. Now, because I missed it, the end of the first round is over. You can remain with your lance, or you can switch to another weapon between rounds. I will need your follower's fate roll from your battalion commander.
And that's just another battle roll.
It is a
correct?
battle roll, yes.
That is another success.
Okay, so 10% losses. So 2% are killed, 8% are wounded. So Gwgan loses another mercenary. Kendric, you'll need to send home another knight.
Okay.
Family knight. And Kyned, you're fine. You only have Dame Fawn with you, so yeah, She doesn't even get wounded. She's just like, wow, this is crazy. I've been through 3 whole battles and I haven't gotten wounded once. That's Follower's Fate. I don't know if we want to use the full melee rules for this. I think we'll save that for the start of the Boy King, where you do like disengaged units and all that. I don't think you guys.
That's Book of Battle stuff.
Well, I mean, it's in the 5.1 and 2 rules, but yeah, but it's like pre-book, because Book of Battles is even more complicated. But yes, I don't think you have enough independent authority to do that right now.
I think you mean it's a lot more awesome.
Okay, James, roll a d20 here real quick.
Okay, I will. And roll high to get a 11.
Well, the great news is that you are fighting a professional warrior, and one of them has a Thane or a Berserker as their leader. So I'll tell you what, roll a d2, and on a 2, it's a Berserker. On a 1, it's a Thane. It is a Thane. So the Horthgonauts are capturable, and the Thane is, of course, quite capturable. They are essentially the Saxon version of noblemen.
Very nice.
I think that the Thane is going to square up with your leader, and his 2 Horthgonauts are going to square up against Sirs Gwgan and Kyned.
I will be switching to sword between reigns.
These gentlemen are using axes, have shields, and have light armor.
I hate Saxons.
You do hate Saxons, apparently.
I also hate Saxons.
Wow, everyone's going Super Saiyan all of a sudden. Very well.
Are you going to join us in our hatred there, Kendric?
Yeah, I join you in the hatred of hating Saxons.
You all hate Saxons. We're all hating Saxons together. Okay, they are not mounted, so their skill is at -5. That is a miss, and against Gwgan, a miss. So these are full misses, no success.
Holy crap. Thank God for passion.
Right.
A 2 on the die.
Okay. All 3 of you succeed.
Over a pussy blow.
There you go, Kendric.
Yeah, baby. Finally got some decent damage rolls.
Well, I still beat Glimo with 1 less dice.
Wow.
Yeah, I rolled 3 more ones.
Yeah.
Relax, bro. Okay. I need to find the Creatures Compendium. Get a nice Saxon fighting man here to figure out if you knock any of these guys down for capturing.
I don't think we'll beat that. Well, sorry, Glimo and I won't beat their size. I think even if they got armed with no axes, we just dealt a minor wound to them. But Kendric might have some success.
So Kendric is going up against a guy who's size 17. So I think he has to make
a dexterity check.
Dexterity check to stay standing. He has a 10. He succeeds. So no captures here. All 3 of you succeed and overrun the area.
What is his because yeah, well, I was gonna say how much damage does he actually take? Because
he might take a major wound
because
his major wound is 14.
Yeah. So he will have to roll against his remaining hit points to maintain consciousness.
He does get his armor. So you deal 19.
So that's
he needs a
definitely
12.
a major wound.
You got an 11.
Okay, so he is still conscious.
Wouldn't that mean he failed?
Did he?
He wants to roll higher than his hit points, right?
No, I think it's just a.
No, because you want
No,
to load
it's-
hit points.
it's
Yeah,
under.
Because,
It's under.
Yeah,
It's
the
under?
less hit
Okay,
points
then
you have,
yes,
the
he
harder it is
stays
to
up.
roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does that thing in anime where you charge past him and then his eyes are like completely blank and you think you've got him knocked out. But then when you sheathe your sword, like he begins to fall forward, blood gushes out, but he catches himself and goes, "Rah!" And like whatever the Saxon version of a squire is, runs behind him with a giant flag with his emblem on it. and then
For sure.
and then a curtain of charging knights separates your two battle groups from each other. Okay. We reach the end of this battle, which was a lot faster than I thought. I do need a follower's fate roll from our battle commander.
Sure. That is another success.
Very well. So you will need to send home one of your regular knights, Kendric, and you will also have lost one of your mercenaries. Gwgan,
Okay.
so you're down to 7 living mercenaries. Gwgan, you're down. Gwgan is down to 20 mercenaries. Kendric is down to 7 mercenaries. You have lost all of your family knights, and you have 9 regular knights, Kendric. Kyned, you're perfectly fine. You and Fawn come out of all 3 battles this year completely not even a ding on your armor.
Nice.
Okay, so everyone who brought mercenaries will not need to pay them this year. They've participated in enough battles that they pull in their own, like, humongous amounts of money. Gwgan, all of your mercenaries are now mounted.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, they are mounted with the shitty horses, the ones that are
Pole-
meant for
Roundsies.
Full freeze or roundsies? Yeah.
I think palfrey, yeah.
Well, are they combat mounts or
No,
non-combat mounts?
it's the
non-combat mounts.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, it's palfrey.
right,
Yeah.
but it's better than literally nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Gwgan, your mercenaries will bring you in 20 pounds, and Kendric, yours will bring you in 7 during this battle. Each of you will also gain 2 roundsies and 2 palfreys for yourselves. These are special horses, so you'll need to check to see whether they're still living at the end of every year. And then you also get 5 pounds of goods for yourself.
And then what was our glory?
I'm working on that right now.
Gotcha.
So it was a decisive victory, so it's all going to get doubled in the end. Battle. Skipping all that. Okay, so 30 around. Everyone got successes, so 30 times 2, so 60, 60, 60 for each of you is 180. No, wait, I'm doing that wrong. It's only been 2 rounds, not 3.
Mhm.
So you guys make 120 glory total.
Okay.
Gwgan, your mercenaries consider this to have been a great scrap. Yes, they lost a bunch of people, but they expect that given the wealth and glory that they've poured over themselves, they'll easily be able to attract more people to their service. And Spoon, your guys consider this to have been kind of a costly victory. You've lost a significant portion of them permanently, and they were kind of close.
Could I make an argument for upgrading their equipment so that they are equipped as knights?
You can make that argument, but it takes 5 pounds to arms and armor them each.
Total?
Yes, so
Oh,
each
okay,
would be
so it'd be-
35, and you could
Okay.
you could turn all of them into essentially hedge knight mercenaries for yourself.
Okay.
You want to go big, or do you want to go home?
So I'm wondering if the guys that we ransomed, did we send their, would it be customary to send their gear with
Yes,
them?
you can't just
Okay.
take their stuff.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Let me see what my current monies are.
Are you a thief, sir, or are you a man of honor?
Well, they're my prisoners.
When
their
the
ransom
tournament era
doesn't-
comes around, it will actually be.
Yeah, I was
But
just
see, when the
wondering if
tournament era comes around, you don't ransom other knights. You ransom their arms and armor back to them when you defeat them. It's kind of the opposite situation.
yeah.
We're racing for pigs.
Let me think about it. Let me think about it.
So I already paid my mercenaries for this year, so can I just take them as paid for next year then if they've collected?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Booty? Sure, okay. No worries.
The mercenaries understand the concept of down payments. They love the idea of being paid more now so that they can party now before they die next year. Spoon is still figuring out, is he going to go big or is he going to go home?
I will go ahead and pay the 35 to equip them as knights.
Okay.
And basically upgrade them to essentially knights.
Now, normally one would go to Londonium, and while you certainly aren't barred access there, it's probably not super smart to go to what is essentially a Saxon fortress right now. So you do spend some time wandering across Salisbury for the waning hours before winter on your return, finding and buying and having altered using a breastplate stretcher. But you enlighten all of these people. In the words of Jaime Lannister, only a knight can make a knight. You enlighten your 7 mercenaries. They are now all knights, and they agree to convert their mercenary company into a mercenary company and a knight order. Still called the Bright Plains Riders, but now it's, official and hereditary. And
Can we change the name to the Knights of the Bright Lance?
The Knights of the Bright Lance. Very well.
Lance?
You've sold me. You've done the. You only get one name change, and you have to pay 10,000 prestige to make it happen. But you've done so. Okay, so it's now the Knights of the Bright Lance. And they get just a little bit of tint on the end of their lances so that the points shine,
They dip them in molten tin.
Oh, no. I was thinking like chromium or, lead or something. Is lead shiny?
Yes.
I
don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a lot of exposed lead. I assume there's probably some alloy of shiny lead, but, they'd probably want to lick it and go, tastes sugary.
Did we come up with a name for the mercenaries I hired, AP? Have you got that in your notes?
I believe we did, but you were kind of iffy on whether you wanted to keep that name around or not.
I was remember if it was like a person's name was like, it was such and such as, riders or something or...
I may not have written it down, actually. I could have sworn that I did. Countess Ellen's new handmaiden. The Sons of Devon. No, that's the evil mercenary company that the Cornwalls are using. I mean, if you have a name to suggest...
I think it might have been the Sons of Devon was one. That rings a bell.
Okay, sure. We'll say it's them then.
Okay, so I don't got a name for the leader because what I think I'm going to do is, since they've now all taken horses, and I actually have 2 spare chargers, I'm going to gift one of my chargers to the leader of the company. So obviously they won't fight mounted, but he can, sort of thing, So
They are inventing the concept of dismountable infantry or mechanized infantry where they ride the horses to battle and they get off them. They leave all the heavy gear on the horses, like shovels and tents.
So feel free at some point to make up a name for him if he's going to stick around. Now he's got his brand spanking new charger.
His name is Michael.
And then, just from like my clarity's sake, I was commanding a battalion of Salisbury's forces. Correct? I was not in charge of Salisbury's forces.
Correct. You were commanding only the Knights of the Order of the Axe, actually.
Yeah.
and their attendant
And
forces.
the forces remain with us. Okay. Cool.
I think in the aftermath of the battle, you can see that a half squireling, half knight version of young Robert has been running around causing chaos and serving, in these armies. Specifically, though, he seems to have won some glory and acclaim for himself at Hartford.
This is Earl Robert.
Yes.
It's
Not quite an earl.
yeah.
The earl to be. Maybe he's a baron now, or a baronet. Certainly he's not a clarinet. Oh, we have a bunch of stuff in chat that I've completely missed.
Hartford, for those military aficionados, by the way.
The
is the home
Huscarls of Anglo-Saxon into England were mounted infantry. Yes, well, Anglo-Saxon England doesn't quite exist yet. We're kind of watching it happen, and then it won't happen, and then it will happen. Man,
So
being a Brett Wald is
Hartford,
so hard.
by the way, is the home of the British SAS, for those military fans among you.
So, I thought the British SAS were all like rogue, war-criming Irish nasty men who... God, listen, I don't know a lot.
Paddy Main.
Am I wrong?
I don't think. Well,
I thought that they were like really bad dudes.
they are really
Like
bad
actually,
dudes.
no, I don't. Now, just to be clear, I don't mean like, yeah, they're bad dudes like Navy SEALs or Force Recon. Like, I thought they were like criminals who were given the worst possible jobs. Military.
They're the UK's tier 1 operators. Yeah, they are like Navy SEAls or.
Well, I mean,
Team
my
Boss or stuff,
knowledge
you
of
know.
them, from World War II, essentially. Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
obviously they when they were the part of the OSR, they were certainly like they were early spies basically, or not spies but saboteurs almost, But
That is saying
nowadays,
that's a dirty dozen. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
My assumption is that the early SAS is more like Expendables than Captain America's Freedom Troop.
Yeah.
Or whatever they were called. The Screaming Eagles. Certainly they're a little bit more respectable now, Just a little bit. The troubles happened in my lifetime, so, All right. You go home. I told Spoon he could go big or he could go home, but I'm going to let him do both.
Excellent.
You're not going to leave Kendric trapped forever in Hartford with his
I
armored
offered him a
knights?
fair bargain and he agreed to it, but I should allow him to go home. Who said you can't go home? Christmas Court. People seem happier this year than they have for the past several. The Saxons were dealt several solid defeats, and more importantly, the Logres lords appear at last to have been mostly united. The damage to western Salisbury has been done by Cornish raiders, but it was neither severe nor unexpected. It has, however, put a economic stopper on whatever expansion plans that Dame Titania and her retainers have sustained. They have been raided several times this year, and as you may recall, they committed themselves to your force at great hesitation, and it has cost them some parts of their lands, serfs, and estates. What do you want to do at that Christmas court, which is a thoroughly Salisburyan affair for once, no outside visitors? Quintus of Ilchin, the physician, has been disinvited, not present this year, doesn't even try to get in through the castle door this time around. And you guys you're hearing about the level of wealth that is going around, and you all receive Christmas gifts for the first time in a while, basically since Earl Roderick was alive. You all get a new fine Zemen suit of clothing from the Countess and a gift of another £5, because the money that would normally go to paying tribute to the Saxons, specifically AL, has now gone back to be redistributed to her personal people who have sworn to her.
Woo.
Her literal direct vassals.
I would like to have a gift made for the Earl to commemorate his. I assume this was like his first like campaign
field
season.
campaign. Yeah, sure.
So like, I don't know, maybe like a sword belt buckle. With
I believe the French would call that a frog, but go ahead.
yeah, with like the coat of arms of Salisbury on it. And I do have a silversmith in my lands, so I will have him commissioned to make that.
You mean the mayor? He's getting on in years, but his son has taken up the
Yes,
trade.
of course.
His son occasionally goes, "Do you know who my dad is?"
And I go, "Yes, I do. I'm the reason your dad is what he is."
Well, that opens up a whole. You don't get to choose the mayor. First off, that's not even how mayors work.
We 100%, like, we didn't choose the mayor, but we're the ones who put him in that position.
He was the mayor, and you helped confirm his mayoral candidacy.
Yes, of course.
Right. He was elected by the people for life, of course, but and his son will, of course, also be elected for life.
Yes, of course.
By a nearly unanimous vote.
Confirmed by the Countess and then the Earl when he comes of age.
This is what happens when you allow women in pawns distributing swords to decide political power. Meanwhile, back at the Christmas feast, you hand over the frog belt to the Earl, and he begins attaching it to himself and adjusting it. And, it's got that feeling of, like, because you don't have his exact measurements, he's going to have to get it tailored to subdue it. But he's like, oh, yeah. And then, no one's supposed to have weapons in the hall, so he immediately leaves the feast to go outside into the cold of night and get a sword to put it on the belt. I know we've got some people here who have kids. You know what happens when kids get gifts. All propriety goes out the window.
Yes.
You got the original PlayStation for Christmas? Go ahead. Don't open the rest of the gifts. Just set that thing up and start playing. Whatever PlayStation Spyro? Go ahead, kid.
The best thing is when the kids open the box and they go like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah. Oh, socks. Great. Thank you.
If you ever have to say the name of the gift, it wasn't a good gift.
Wow.
What a great measuring stick.
You get so much wisdom from the fellow players of the show sometimes that I just absorb.
So earlier in the year, I had put out a call for new jonglers.
Yes.
Have any appeared?
I would like you to roll a d20, and if it's let's call this a courtesy roll.
So Book of the Manor says that it's a build improvement.
Okay.
So it's just a D20? And you don't want a 20?
I believe that's correct, but I'm looking for my manor sheets. Haverstock Manor. Build improvement. I succeed.
Okay. You locate a person by the name of Pent, who has a group with him, and he comes up and he says, "My lord, I'm so pleased that you were able to get us an invite to this particular party. I understand you've been looking for a replacement for your previous troop who traveled with your banner and your family's banner for many seasons."
Indeed.
We have been studying your song, and we've been doing it in our own unique style.
I see. And what do you call yourselves?
Well, this is my troop. We call them the Tonics. So collectively,
Of course.
you would call us Pent and Tonics. Or as some call us Pentatonics. Our musical
Excellent.
style is, of course, entirely vocal. It removes the need to carry heavy instruments, which are very susceptible to water and travel damage.
Well, I would be. I would look forward to hearing an audition song from you.
Okay, they do God Rest You Merry Gentlemen in pentatonic style.
Excellent.
I laid the seeds with the name Pent, and no one ever suspected what was coming.
I knew it was going to be something. I did not get that. That didn't pop to mind. So
Perfect.
good
Got
on
it.
you, Arthur. I will put myself down for 5 Libra to infife the new troop
Sure.
as per the book.
So they go ahead and agree to serve not exactly as spies for you like the previous group, who, you knew very well and basically trained them and raised them to be spies. But they do agree to continue to carry out your interests and bring you news from afar.
Okay.
As previously. Only half of them are embedded double. There's no. He built this improvement. These are natural homegrown tonicses, okay? This is the problem. You never want to get your tonics not from a prescriber, all right? What else, in the words of Command Sergeant Major?
That's. I don't think I have anything else for a 50. What is this? 505.
Yeah, 505.
Yeah.
Pat is saying you shouldn't trust me, Glimo. They're right, actually. All right.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go
I
ahead,
was gonna
go
say,
ahead,
at
go ahead,
the-
James. You haven't done anything yet.
Well, I have something for James. Gwgan, as the night winds down, you receive a ceremonial special dispensation to marry up to your 4th cousin.
But I'm already married.
Yes, but if you or a family member needed to marry up to your 4th, your wife could
Okay.
die. You understand that, right? Your wife could die
Yeah.
at some point. You're receiving a special dispensation from the church in exchange for your recently almost finished cathedral from the bishop.
All right. Looking at it. Yeah, put that alongside my my indulgences. Got it.
Excellent.
Yeah, look, I think that because I have some wealth now, and the time has come to probably finish the church off. So I just need to get. I probably spend most of the winter trying to get a lead on where I can acquire a shitload of stone from. Because yeah, I need to. It's like I still need to spend almost 100 Libra on stone.
Are you willing to buy it from Cornwall?
I because they have all the stone quarries. Don't they? They have no the mines. They have the tin mines.
They have
the tin
mines.
mines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the offsets of tin mining is that it also requires you to remove an enormous amount of stone.
Yeah.
Or, alternatively, if you feel like going deep into Saxon-held Kent, you could ask if you could get at those White Cliffs.
With the Rockets of Dover. Look, I'm happy to wait, make the deposit now, wait a year, and bring the stone in from elsewhere. Yeah, maybe because obviously there's lots of mountains up in Wales, in the Cambrian Mountains, so maybe help out the Nanteliod by sending money to his people.
Oh, I see. What a union of economic power.
Yeah.
Okay, you pay for a rush shop to bring an enormous, a cathedral's worth of stone down to finish it. You know, I feel like you've got
Half a
the
cathedral worth.
superstructure, right? You've got the Michelangelo superstructure. Everything's been laid out. The foundations are in. You just need the walls.
I mean, you've got to watch Pillars of the Earth, AP. You got
All
to.
right.
You
I'm putting it in
would
Gmail for
you
my
would enjoy it.
announcements. All right.
I don't know how you feel about Eddie Redmayne, but he kills it in that. So
I don't know who that is.
don't know Eddie Redmayne. Wow.
Eddie Redmayne.
Did you watch the Harry Potter, like the Newt like the spin-off Harry Potter films set in the past? No, okay. Did you watch Jupiter Rising?
Oh, it was in Les Mis. I saw that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
okay.
you know who Eddie Redmayne is.
Yeah.
It's literally the only thing on this list I've seen that has him in it. Just to be very clear, Spoon. I've somehow managed to dodge all of his other works.
He's very much a character actor.
Yeah, I just haven't seen any of his other stuff. I didn't play Lego Dimensions, so I didn't see him as Newt Scamander.
Well, that's the Harry Potter character. But,
very well. I see.
you didn't watch do you watch Jupiter Rising? With,
No. I heard it was terrible.
It was terrible, but he was especially camp in it.
I'm so sorry. He's too British for me to have watched very much of his stuff.
Yeah.
Could I possibly argue for a check-in battle? As this is one of the first times I've completely led through a battle with not fumbling a passion and going ape shit and murdering people.
Let me ask you, Spoon.
Sure.
There's a term in poker called gold bricking or Hollywooding. Do you know what that is? That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, you can take a check-in battle. That's really reasonable. In fact, I should have offered you one. Oh, okay. What else?
I would like to speak with Kendric.
Right, you cast Speak with Kendric. Kendric appears. You can ask him 5 questions.
Four will be truth, one will be a lie.
First question, how many questions can I ask you?
Is your castle complete, my brother?
Yes, it should be. It will be completed. I think it was completed at the end of last year. Yes, it is. It is finished.
It is finished. Is your builder still on your lands?
As far as I know, he is finishing the interior furnishings at the castle. I think now would be the time to deal with him.
Sorry, I want to edit in the Nazgul writing song from Lord of the Rings. Bum 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 bum.
Would you like it to be done quietly, or are you going to do it more publicly through a trial by combat?
I think it would be best if Sir Hellifer the mercenary quietly disappeared.
Very well.
If there's anything you require of me, just ask.
I may need some assistance getting in and out of your lands, but I will attempt to get it done quietly. What AP? What would I need to do to start a plot to murder Helithford the mercenary?
I mean, at this point, I've been assuming that the two of you have been conspiring to kill him for years.
Yes.
So his death is inevitable on this intrigue roll. Success or failure, he will die. Failure, the plot is discovered. On a success, you kill him. If you can critical, you will throw him from a wall. Personally. And it won't ever be discovered. It'll just be he was walking along the walls and he died. These things happen sometimes, you know? Loose
People
rocks.
fall off walls all the time.
People, I mean, it's happened at least once in living memory.
Could I? Well, this is not a knightly act. Can I argue that this is my personal honor since he took me?
Absolutely not.
Captive.
You're going to be assassinating this person. Under no circumstances.
Okay, fair enough. Very well.
He's also not a Saxon.
Yeah, I mean, honor was the only thing that I could
And he's a Christian.
that I could see stretching.
Do you have a loyalty order of the Axe Passion?
I do.
Okay.
Ooh, no, well, I can't stop you from that. I thought I had you completely checkmated, but yeah, okay.
It's probably
you
not
want to
great.
risk loyalty order the axe.
I mean, it's not a famous passion, so it would only go badly for me if I fumbled it.
It's up to you. Don't make me force you into something that you don't want to do.
No, I mean, I'm just double checking that I know the rules correctly without going and
If
looking
it's
at
1
the
to
pin.
15
That is correct.
on a failure, nothing happens. Only on a fumble does it get really bad for you.
And
Okay.
well, it doesn't even get really bad. It's just melancholy with a normal passion.
I think melancholy while assassinating somebody is probably going to be.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
It's going to be some real Edgar Allan Poe. What's the one where the heart is buried under the floorboards?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I roll a 20 on either one of these, it's going to be really bad for me.
Yeah.
So I might as well try to impassion.
Yeah.
It's a fail
Okay.
on Order of the Axe.
I think that this represents then that like you don't feel the level of like in your heart what Kendric has asked you to do here is wrong. Like this represents you as a spy master contravening your personal sense of honor as a knight. This is just one more step down a long path you've been going down since Ridichan.
But that's a success on my intrigue.
All right. So I want to set the beginning of the scene. You can't throw him off the wall because you didn't get a critical, but you can tell me how it ends. He is walking along with someone. You'll have control over who that is. He has the documents that are all signed, sealed, and attested to. They've got little like Warhammer 40k purity seals that are all like public notaries. We could see as he's flipping through this folio, it's just like all of the blueprints of the castle, all of the like warrants and deeds and licensures and all of the permissions from the church and everything short of the word of the king. And he slams it shut and hands it to somebody in Kendric's manor, or wherever you want the scene to be. You get to narrate the rest of the scene as he dies, as he's handing over these plants.
Yeah, so I think that it is in Kendric's manner. I have told Kendric to clear everybody out, and I'm in disguise, dressed as a functionary.
You
And
see
he
Helfer look around and he goes, "Sorry, I thought I was meeting with Sir Kendric today. It's rather
sorry.
empty in here."
Kendric is detained, but he did ask me to
You mean Lord
handle
Kendric?
handle the documents.
Since when does a common servant refer to his master as Kendric?
Rather formal around here, my lord. You've noticed that. He is the hammer, after all.
Right. Well, he offers you the folio. Now, this thing is huge. You know, this thing is like a solid 3 or 4 feet wide and like 6 or 7 feet tall. Or, well, let's say 4 feet. It's just really, really enormous book he's handing over, full of castle plans. Well, with that, my part of this is done.
Point, like, you know, I very clumsily drop it.
Fool. He bends over and he goes to pick it up.
And as he bends over to do that, then I run my sword through his ribs.
He makes a weird noise and collapses to the ground. The sword penetrates through the folio and his blood leaks onto the paper. He's looking up at you, but he can't say anything. He's just kind of pinned there like a bug flopping around on the ground.
Can't be too careful, Heliford. Wouldn't want anyone to know the defenses of this nice castle that you've made.
Heliford. And he dies.
You'll never know about the floor I built in. Sorry, but your castle's got a thermal exhaust port. Yeah, no bigger than a womp rat. That
you gotta fly a snub fighter down the trench.
Yeah, don't worry. Hold on, we gotta
in.
do 2 seasons of a Hellifer as a prequel series about how he built the weakness inherent in the castle.
You need a trebuchet to go right in.
that's all right.
You see, the castle was built so this one wall is load-bearing for the whole castle. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine. Merlin taught me what that was.
Yeah. It's one of those sort of like modernist architects where the entire castle is just a giant arch, and because it's the keystone right in the center.
What does he live in the Aaron in Game of Thrones? This castle has 300 people in it. And you're like, oh, that'll be easy to take. And they're like, yes, it's also built on the side of a mountain. And there is a path 1 person wide. Okay. He's dead. Now the real question is, what's the cover up here? Since he was very obviously stabbed in the back and bleeding to death on your new floors.
I don't know that there is a cover up. I think he just gets rolled into a rug and gone and tossed into the river.
Wow, so many knights have been assassinated and thrown into that river.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking wild.
That's why it'll stand out, because he's not a knight. He's the first non-knight to wash up in the river.
He's a knight! He's called Sir Hellifer!
Yeah, he's Sir Hellifer. He's just a mercenary.
Okay.
You can be a knight and a mercenary. Several of you have those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a break, and when we get back, we're doing the winter phase. I was threatened in the comment section this week saying that if we ever stop doing the spreadsheet part out loud on this show, I'll lose viewers. Okay? Threatened on my own channel, sir?
You know what? You'll lose audience members. You'll lose cast members too.
All right, we'll be back. So, audience, we meet again. who could have suspected our paths would cross here at twitch.tv/APGamingREAL and or youtube.com/APGamingREAL. Who would have known that we would intersect at this time place? You know, speaking of intersecting at time places, winter phase? Cool.
Let's do some
time
winter
place
phase.
it. I'm just going to go ahead and roll 3d6 plus 5 here real quick. Just for no particular reason. That's a big number. That's 22.
Ooh, that's bad.
That's super bad
Yeah.
for you guys. That's a 665.
All right.
Are we doing?
Oh yeah.
Are we doing solo scenarios?
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought you guys roll for getting your
Solo
checks and
scenarios
things.
always first.
Very well. That makes sense. Kyned, your solo scenario this year is that you get an announcement that as winter breaks, Bishop Rourke will be arriving on your lands, leading a small fellowship of recently converted Christians who wish to come and rub a coin on you.
Okay. This Bishop Rourke is the guy from Ireland.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it the same coin for everybody? Or
No, they each bring their own coin.
Mm.
It sounds like some sort of pagan ritual to you, honestly, but
Sound like any harm? I welcome them.
okay. I would like you to make an intrigue check.
Success.
Okay. Rourke and his group arrive. They seem to have landed in Wessex, uncontested, and made their way north to your estate, pretty much unharmed the whole travel.
That seems weird.
It does seem weird. Also, Rourke doesn't seem to speak any of your language at all. None of these people do, but they're all smiling, approaching you, and the obvious bishop, is like gesticulating at you, going out to give you a hand. He's speaking in Latin occasionally to you, like biblical phrases, but you can't read Latin, so you have no idea what he's saying. You definitely recognize like In Nomine Patre and the Lord's Prayer for sure, but other than that, he might as well be speaking Greek. He gestures to everyone, and they all reach into their bags and bring out different coins. Like, I don't just mean like the coins are all, like a nickel or something. They bring out coins from like different eras, from different parts of Europe. The first one moves towards you very slowly, as if to like brush you with the coin, like petting you with a coin.
Okay. I must have someone in my staff who does speak Latin.
Absolutely. Probably you
Probably
have a
your
passing
priest.
passing priest for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. He begins translating and just says, the good Bishop Rourke here was very interested in having you bless the coins using the holy power of Christ that you've accumulated. He is a believer that God works through his son, and his son works through all of us. This is not accepted church doctrine, just to be very clear, that there is a link, almost like feudalism, where God's holy power will pass through certain people, like shining through cracks in a wall, and that you are a crack to heaven. They would like you to bless the coins so that they may have a piece of God with them. I believe that they're attempting to transubstantiate objects. This is heresy. Dark heresy, my lord. It's good that we caught this plot. We should have them all rounded up and burned. No one would question our execution of Irish hereticals.
Um, do we have to? I mean, this seems like it could cause...
He looks at you very
a
gravely
schism.
and says, no, you don't have to, but understand God is always judging you.
Always watching.
Always watching. The thing about the Lord Jesus Christ is he knows when you've been sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad and good. I beg of you, Lord Kyned, be good for goodness' sake.
I'm new to your faith, but this
Oh,
doesn't...
yes, of course. If the burning is too gruesome, I could send for a lion from the Dark Continent. We could have them eaten by lions.
Perhaps we should send for Sir Gwgan. He's much more knowledgeable in the faith than I am, and maybe he can bring
He's an
his...
expert at killing Christians, yes.
And he you know, he can bring his priests. And I think we should probably have a little chat about it. I don't feel like I'm equipped to make these decisions on my own, being so new to the faith and all.
Very well. All right, Gwgan.
Yep.
The next day, you get a messenger indicating that you and your priest would like to be seen at Kyned's Manor, where they have arrested an Irish bishop and his followers for heresy.
So did you, before I answer this question, did you already have a solo scenario planned for Gwgan this year?
I did, but this is so much better.
Okay, because I also had something as well that might also take Gwgan out of the ability to help.
Oh,
not
let's
his
cut to that
priest.
then. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, only because I know that in 505, the forces of Cornwall start to like harass the.
Yeah.
Just 1 second, sorry. Thank you. What? Come on. Sorry, I just wanted to knock on the door constantly. Yeah, the estates on the far west of Salisbury start getting harassed by Cornwall's forces, and one of those estates is Winterbourne Stoke, which is the estate that's actually been given to Gwgan when he hands over to.
Oh, interesting.
So I think that he might be spending his winter phase going to defend what will be the seat of his power in only a year's time.
Excellent. Can you make a battle roll?
Yeah, sure.
So you don't get that message. It never reaches you. The messenger is killed by Cornwallish raiders. And instead, you never learn about this bishoping. Yeah, go ahead, checkmark battle in there. You easily retake your estate, and you marshal the western reaches, the western march here. One might even call it the West Marches, to toss back. Now, this isn't a serious push, right? This is just like bravos and like people who are desperate trying to raid and get easy money. But now that Daddy's home and Dame Titania is free of her duties, they are counter pushing and freeing the land as quickly as they can.
It was some hunting parties.
Yeah, so Kyned, you spend 3 days, you never get a reply from Gwgan. The pressure of having arrested these people for heresy is starting to build. You do still have to, feed and water them, and they are continuously asking when they'll be free to go. Your only translator is a person that you no longer trust to handle this situation, because you suspect he might be a little too into burning people, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I was getting from you. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is also, to be clear, normal Christian behavior in this time.
Can I roll merciful versus cruel to decide whether I put them to death or just send them on their way?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and check intrigue as well. That's a critical merciful. So you need to hit a critical cruel for this to otherwise work. But do note that your merciful goes up to 10 and your cruel
and my cruel goes down to 10.
To 10, yeah.
And I fail cruel.
The spirit of the Lord moves through you. You may not read the Bible, but you've heard many of its lessons, which include things like treat a foreigner as if they were your neighbor, out of something called Leviticus. And it's like you should feed and clothe them and make sure that they feel safe and send them on their way. And you begin doing merciful things, and the bishop has the priest has no room to step on this. The Christians come forth and rub their coin on you in their insular pagan tradition and take some of the divine light from you so that they might always have it near them. They are a little confused, that all this went down, but now that they aren't arrested anymore, they seem more than happy to head home.
Okie doke.
After they have left, one of your servants approaches you and indicates to you that yes, you do get a check in merciful. Indicates to you that it had been intimated to him that if he were to begin reporting onto you, Bishop Rourke would reward him with a dispensation and a regular amount of gold. It sounded like Rourke wanted to have an agent in your house.
Well, I reward him for his honesty and tell him to please be ever vigilant to House Laverstock, and I'll give him a Libra, shiny Libra.
Next time someone asks me to join their evil plots, I'll make sure to get whatever information I can out of them. Why, I might even pretend I'll be part of the plots.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself. Come to me first. You did the right thing.
Of course, my lord. I did get ahead of myself. I'll stop speaking to you now.
You don't want to get involved in entrapment.
Yes. The concept of double jeopardy. What's it called where the police set you up? Entrapment?
Entrapment.
Yeah.
Entrapment is where police, they entice you to commit a crime that you would have committed if they hadn't enticed you to do so.
The police will never need to entrap me if the crime is eating a bag of Cheetos.
Yeah, it's why the police can arrest you for trying to sell them drugs, but they can't arrest you for trying to buy drugs from them.
Wow.
Do I get any glory for my solo scenario?
Let's say 5 glory.
Okay.
You know what, Gwgan? Let's give you 5 glory as well.
You're so magnanimous, thank you.
Kendric, would you say that you're a worldly man?
I think, in fact, I'm fairly spiritual.
I would like you to roll for your spirituality this year. As you go on a journey, once more, seek... Oh, my God.
Oh, no!
Nope.
That's a 20? That's a fumble for the folks at home?
The fumble.
I didn't even finish saying what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You go out looking for the true essence of a knight. You are looking for the ancient Celtic base traditions. You've increasingly been told that the concept of a knight has leaked over from the other side of the world, the land of fairies and such. And you do know that they have some sort of knightly chivalric tradition. It just hasn't made sense to you so far. You go out looking for this stuff, and someone finds you just like floating down a river, naked in spring. You've just been drunk for like 3 months. You failed a passion roll at some point, and you just show up one day and you're like, damn, I'm really passionate about about paganism. It sounds like you did a whole bunch of like woodland sacrifices and like dances and bonfires, maypoles. There are plenty, like, you hear about how there's numerous villages around Silchester that for some reason newborn kids were all named after you. Not that they're your bastards, but just that you did something in the village that impressed people so much you don't even remember ever having been to these villages.
Local fertility rituals.
Yeah. So go ahead and take 10 glory. But your wife is really mad at you.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be rumors for a long time.
That's the story of my life. Thank glory, but your wife is mad.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Okay.
All right, move on to skill rolls.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
That, and you got to get your rolls from buildings and such, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get a check in energetic. Get a check in love family. I have to check for a check in love. Actually, I don't get love got anyway because I've got 2 things with that. I get a check in flirting for a crit.
Get a check in hunting.
I got checks in energetic and spiritual.
I get a check in hospitality. I get a check in
Don't get a check
spiritual.
in flirting. Do I get a check in
Check in
romance?
merciful.
No.
I get a check in hunting.
Do you get
Chicken
checks?
plants. Chicken falconry.
Get a check in proud.
Get a chicken romance with another crit.
Nice.
Chicken intrigue.
Oh, my energetic goes up. Nice.
Get a chicken more Ellen.
Spiritual does not go up, which makes sense. Proud also does not
Oh,
go
I
up.
get a chicken cowardly with a crit.
Uh-oh.
Get a chicken lustful.
My love of family does not go up.
Chicken siege. All right, so let's see what actually goes up now. So I got
Hatred.
everything I could get a check in. I got a check in. I didn't fail any of the wrong here.
Nice.
But let's see what I actually got. Lustful goes up.
Hunting does not go
Oh
up.
no, fails.
Energetic does not go up.
Energetic does not go up.
Dang, James. The amount you
That's what
crit
we got.
in this winter phase is wild.
Merciful does not go up.
Spiritual does go up.
Spiritual does go up for me as well.
Sword does not go up.
Cowardly goes up.
Yeah, that was pretty much guaranteed, though, wasn't it? And
Family
siege
does not
goes
go
up.
Hospitality does not go up.
Love of family does not go up.
Moreland does not go up. Love of God goes up.
Honor does not go up.
Falconry goes up.
Oh, I crit on the hate Saxon, so it does not go up.
Flirting does not go up. Hunting goes
Crit
up.
on falconry does not go up.
Yeah.
Intrigue does not go up with a crit. Romance goes up.
Intrigue does not go up. All right, the only thing that
Battle
went up for
goes
me
up.
was spiritual. Which I guess narratively does make sense.
Lance does not go up with a crit. And Siege goes up. Right, I've done all my rolls.
I am also done.
And I'm also done with my experience rolls.
And now aging.
Yep.
I'm doing that all the time. I don't.
Yep.
Oh, that's not good for me.
9. I lose 1. 5. I lose a point of appearance.
No loss. Dex goes down by 1, and size goes down by 1.
I lose size and strength. And here I was thinking, oh, maybe I should try and buy my points up to get back my 5d6 damage bonus. Not this time. Not today, Satan. I need to spend like 3 points, 4 points to get that back and come in now.
Yep. Yeah,
All right, don't forget to do, when you're aging, don't forget to do your entourage skills as well.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Oops, something went up.
Yep. Dancing.
My wife's industry went to 19.
Nice.
She's a great sewer. What can I say?
All right. I am going to need a new squire. I am going to pay to knight my current squire, Wired, and my heir, Elfin.
Okay. Kyned,
that'll be
I am
30.
paying to knight my cousin's child, Rewallen.
Kyned, you can you make another intrigue check real quick?
I can.
You can use Passion Order the Axe for this.
I succeed in Order of the Axe.
Okay.
Hold on now. Where's intrigue? There it is. That is a success on intrigue.
Okay. You have received you put out feelers for like getting a new squire somewhere in Salisbury, and you receive word from your troop Pentatonics that a squire is being sent not to you but to Kendric from Cornwall, which is very unusual. What are you laughing about? You don't even know what's happening.
I have an idea, but go ahead.
Okay. That there is a Baron of Widegates Manor who has a young bastard boy by the name of Wolf, who's just turned 15 and has been wanting to be a squire his whole life. And for some reason, the Baron of Widegates Manor has sent this boy to Sir Kendric for insquiring. You, however, intercept this plot before the boy crosses over into Salisbury. You can stop the boy before he comes over. You can capture him. You can have him disposed of and killed. You could let him go.
Do I have reason to, other than it being odd, do I have reason to believe that it is nefarious?
I think the question is, do you get a look at the boy or not? Like, do you ride out to go see him as he's crossing the border or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. So, under the cover of maybe a visit to Gwgan's lands or to visit Dame Titania or just to observe the western marches, you do...
I'm going to see Gwgan to tell him the weird thing that happened with the Christians.
You do catch sight as you have paid, small pocket changes to various informants and various ale houses and taverns and inns and merchant way stations and such. You catch sight of a very slow moving band of like pilgrims, refugees, and like armed warriors, and among them you haven't known Kendric for like a super long time, but this kid definitely looks like a pretty much exact copy of young Kendric, for sure.
Mm.
The seed is strong. He has incredible size, all of Kendric's features. Most notably, the ears look exactly the same. He's carrying like a blacksmith's hammer as a weapon.
I was going to go talk to Gwgan,
Yeah.
but especially given that I hit my passion on loyalty, Order of the Axe, I will fast ride ahead to Pitton. It is Pitton, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You activate fast travel. Now, just to be clear, that's only going to buy you 2 or 3 days worth of time before the kid arrives. And of course, the further into Salisbury it gets, the more stories of his appearance may spread.
You know,
It's in the Raven.
You still have the same problem.
you know,
A raven is not significantly faster than a horse.
yeah, I'm not going to do anything that Kendric doesn't want me to do.
Okay.
So
You make
I'm
your way
going
to
talk.
Pitton Manor.
I'm going to talk to Kendric. If he wants me to send the boy, intercept the boy, and send him back, I will endeavor to do so. But I'm not going to.
I want this scene to be
any-
dramatic. Kendric walking along the walls of his newly consecrated castle. We can see that, you know, he's had such ill luck. He is wandering around in the springtime, just got over his massive hangover. His wife is pissed that, you know, he was missing all winter, was going around doing pagan shit. You're up here, it's cold. You've got your Night's Watch black fur cloak on. You let out a puff, and you see Kyned riding like all hell is behind him towards your new castle walls, your estate secure inside the wall. And then we cut down to like Kyned riding through the open gates and you greeting him there. Maybe you say something about not having seen each other shit in the war for a while. And now please have a dramatic scene in the courtyard with a number of servants maybe watching and, you know, people from all over his court looking down on what's happening.
We must speak privately, brother.
Well, shit, you beat me there.
Very well. I'll give you a tour of the wine cellars.
Excellent. Do some of my best work in wine cellars.
What a cryptic comment. Are we sure Kendrick's gonna live through this episode?
Oh, I think Kendric just takes it as because Kyned is a famous drunk. Like
True.
Kyned is a famous drinker.
It's true.
So he goes, he just kind of laughs. Is like,
I mean, his most famous song is about how he defended a man in the wine cellars.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know the truth of that? I think maybe you don't.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think
okay.
so. I don't think anybody knows the truth of that except for Sir Kyned. And of course, Sir Alaric. But
Okay.
he's dead now.
Okay.
What is it, Sir Kyned?
I heard word that a new squire's being sent to you from Widegates Manor in Cornwall. I happened to intercept them on the road. His likeness of yours is
Striking.
striking. I don't want to cause you more family difficulty. I wasn't sure if you had made arrangements to squire the boy. If you...
No. But
I'm happy to have my riders intercept him and send him back home before he gets here. Otherwise, if you are going to take him on, You'd best have a conversation with your wife before he gets here.
Mhm. Lady Guiana knows of my past dalliances and that this was always a possibility. But
If
I,
if you'd have me stop him, then I'd ask for a change of course, and I'll get back on the road.
no, I don't think so. I think I should go talk to my wife
Very well.
and warn her that this is
Expect
coming.
him in 2 to 3 days' time.
Thank you for the advance notice.
As always, my brother.
Yeah, so Kendric, and he'll also offer for you to stay the night if you don't want to travel back
I'll.
immediately.
I feel like perhaps my being here may not be. It might not be the best time for me to call on your household, but I will take you up on your hospitality another time.
Very well. I'll have the stabler get you a fresh horse then.
Appreciate it.
Ah, yes, a horse ride share. You know, you have to trade in your old broke down horse for a good one.
No, so you gotta take the horse back to the charging point, and then
You get your quarterback from Aldi.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand
Yes.
now.
Mechanics question. Since I did successfully impassion, I would have taken a check in Loyalty Order of the Axe.
Sure.
Can I now test it, or do I have to wait till next winter phase?
You're testing it for. Oh, yes, you
It was
will
in
need to
your-
wait for next time.
yeah,
Okay.
because it wasn't in your solo scenario.
Yeah, this
Okay.
has never happened before at this point in the
Yes. But I had a note from many months ago that says
Yes.
a 15-year-old in 491 will happen in 506.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I
it's
go
15. It's 15 pounds per night to infife someone. Is that correct?
to N5.
Oh, sorry,
to night them.
to night them.
I think it's 20. But
I think it's two for the armor and 20 for the horse.
yeah, and I was saying that's the big thing is it's basically like 4. I think it's 2 for the armor, and then like for all of the weapons, I think it's maybe 1 or 2 Libra.
So it's 25.
No, I think it's just 20.
20. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, AP.
Yes.
This year I'm dealing in horse flesh, selling excess horses.
Yes.
I picked up a very, very large charger, unusually large charger. Is it considered worth any more than a standard charger?
I'll
because of
give
its
you
size?
1 extra on that charger.
Okay.
Is it mechanically just like a regular charger?
But it's very large. Don't you understand? Some people like things that are bigger.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think. How do you think the Hummer was ever sold to anyone ever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
obviously.
is the F-250 of horses.
What a joke.
Or the F-350 maybe.
So does anything else come of this, or are we going to pick this up next year?
I mean, if he's sending the boy away, it's not like he has any choice. He's not like,
No,
he's
I
a
don't think he's
commoner.
doing
If he
anything.
gets sent away, there's literally nothing he can do about it.
Like I must correct me if I'm wrong. Kyned's just going to let the kid through, right?
That's what you.
Yeah.
That's what I thought
Okay.
we said.
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah, because that's why Kendric is saying, "Oh, I need to go talk to my wife," to basically warn her to be like,
Okay.
"Hey, do you remember this conversation we had? I think like five-ish or seven-ish years ago now. Listen, that there's a kid on his way here to become my squire, and he's going to look a lot like me."
Okay. Roll for how mad your wife is.
Roll for spousal anger.
I think you need to roll her merciful.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
I'm going to look up a standard lady's merciful. And we'll work from there.
I wonder if she has stats in the GPC, because
I'm going to say she's got a 13, since that seems to be about the average of a lady's stats. And I shall roll it. Are you ready for me to roll numbers? I hate to critical this. That would be embarrassing. I did critical it.
it was amazing. So she's
not happy about
critically
it.
merciful. Well, but she's critically merciful.
But she says, "We are joined in a bond of marriage. Illegitimate sons cannot inherit, nor even be adopted into the family so long as your legitimate heirs still exist. So I feel little threat from this boy. He has made no fault of his own, and if he is a good Christian child, I would see no problem with ensuring that his innocence be preserved here. Your mistakes we will talk about later, at another time."
I mean, we've already talked about them in depth, my lady.
Those mistakes have not come knocking at the doors to my new castle until just this
Indeed.
moment, which has reignited this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
The boy has done nothing wrong. You, however, are in the house of the dogs.
Very well.
We will find a place for this boy. It would not be unusual for him to serve, perhaps as a knight, if he has some skill in that. But he could never be a threat to our true-born heirs.
Of course.
As long as that is understood, and as long as he brings the Christian ways with him.
Very well.
We'll talk more about this later, she says. And then I want to assume she has a veil or something that she puts up and then swishes around and leaves. And she's got like a big billowing cloak that begins trailing even though there's no wind outside. Inside your new castle, it's just dramatically billowing around. Someone spent, truly thousands of dollars in silk to make this.
I think Kendric just pours himself a glass of mead.
Your master of arms walks over and says, "That's rough, buddy." All right, let's get back to rolling for things.
Yeah.
You can accept Wolf as a squire, or you can accept another squire if you'd like to.
We'll take him as a squire.
Okay. There's no special interaction. He doesn't appear to know that he's your son, and he doesn't recognize that you might be his father. He just has a letter of introduction from the Baron of
Whitegates
Manor.
Yeah, Whitegates Manor, who was the guy that I basically stuck him and his mom with.
Yeah.
When we were there.
Yeah.
Okay, and actually, because my squire is currently 20 now, I will take him on as the second squire.
Okay.
Your squire started, is it 15 or 16?
16.
16, great.
So because while you guys were playing, I have rolled ahead.
Yes, I know. I saw it.
So, yeah. So let me tell you about how my time has gone. I had a great roll for in my manorial money.
Yeah.
In terms of like what I would get, thinking, okay, this is going to be great. I made my concern my commoners roll.
Yeah.
I rolled a calamity, but the calamity was just that your wife or steward can't do the stewardship roll this year. It's got to be the knight, but that's okay because I've been bumping my stewardship up.
Yeah.
And then the fucking misfortune critted. So even though I succeeded, that was a bad result. Which means, and I was this year would have been the one if I got a meager or better, like one better or higher, I could have tested for population growth. But that's just reset the clock for another 5 years. So I've gone backwards in money, and I did manage to build the church though. I succeeded in finalising the church, and I had a family member lost or missing. So I'm taking my cousin's husband, who is also one of my old knights. He is being marked off now.
Incredible.
So
they definitely find him floating down a river.
I lost one old knight, but I gained one young knight because I paid for my cousin's child.
Excellent.
I succeed and concern my commoners.
Wow.
That never happens. So that's a care of 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. I am rolling for manorial luck. I got a 2. That's no good.
Yeah, I believe that's
calamity.
That is a calamity. In the anarchy, it is a calamity.
Okay, D20. Three. Unusual dispute amongst your peasants. A justice event is required this year. Difficulty 30. What is a justice event?
You have to roll just.
So you're rolling just, and Arthur's rolling a d20 with a +10.
Yeah.
Wow. Love that. What am I rolling for? 13.
So you can beat that.
I got a success on my just.
Yeah, but it's a failed tie though. We both succeeded, and AP succeeded higher. Is this a consequence in the calamity or not?
6. It says event is required this year. Difficulty is 30. Success of failure doubles the normal results.
Okay, so a justice event. Okay, so a failure. Increase hate landlord by 1 point, so because it's a double the result, so you increase hate landlord by 2, or reduce my concern my commoners by 2, basically.
Okay, I guess I'll reduce my concern my commoners by 2.
Yeah, you can't have both hate and concern. Once your concern drops to 0, you start gaining hate.
Oh, okay.
And I now have a building which generates 3d6 wealth per year.
What building is that?
The cathedral.
Ah, it's bringing in so much money. It's a good thing you have a new bishop to invest himself in there. And
yeah, well, so I mean, I'm happy to because I think 506 or 5 whatever the next year is a quiet year, so I'm happy to have a scene at the cutting the ribbon of my new cathedral.
aren't you glad that you have your dispensation to marry a 4th cousin?
Misfortune succeeds.
I had to look that up. That was a real thing. Normally, you can only marry up to 7th cousins during this time period.
Success, and misfortune succeeds more. So meager.
Yeah, this was a rough year. Wait, what did we roll? What was our misfortune?
I rolled a 22, right?
Fate was 22, or
Yeah.
weather was 22. So
Yes, okay.
if you've got an apiary, your fate is 21.
Yeah, and then I have the fairy that bless my lands and give me another -1.
Okay.
Oh, you guys got the concerned commoners. That's why it's 16.
Yes. Sorry. Yes,
Yep.
My commoners hate me.
I hit concern my commoners, so I got a -5.
So all I need to do now is development and glory. For development, can you add a point to a? Normally just do skills, but you can add it to something else as well.
Traits and passions.
Improve it. Okay. I am spending a point to improve my concern my commoners by 1, also making me famous in concerning my commoners.
Gwgan loves the common people.
He wants to live like common people. He wants to do whatever common people do.
You're reading Mistborn, right, Spoon?
I am.
He's Ellen venturing right now.
He is Ellen venturing right now.
All right, all my fancy horses survive.
Tell me, are they intelligent?
That question is way more important than it seems, my friend.
Yeah.
So I have passed 10,000 glory. So I am taking. I'm also raising my love of God to 16 because I built my cathedral, and that makes me also famous for loving God.
Nice.
All my kids survive.
So all my passions are now famous except for loyalty to the order, which is an 8.
Oh, hang on. That's
Oh, something bad happened, Spoon.
yeah. I'm gonna take an aging roll so that one of my kids doesn't die. Oops, that's a 5. So that is where's my base? Appearance goes down by 1.
One of my children died. And
I am
go ahead.
rolling for family events. Marriage in the family. Who do I have that's still single?
I have a marriage in the family as well.
I'm going to say that Bronwyn, who is my nephew, is married. Do I just roll the random marriage, Arthur?
Sure. Oh,
17.
wow. Chat being brutal towards Spoon.
Daughter of a vassal knight.
How old are your character's second sons?
What an incredibly specific question.
Like not your heirs.
My second son is 15.
Okay.
Kendric.
Bronwyn, who's my second nephew, is 17.
Okay.
And
Looking for a
would,
squire? You're looking
Well,
to.
no, I'm not looking for a squire. So you have a son named Kendric who's 15. You said.
Yeah, or Kedrick or Cedric.
Oh,
Whichever
Cedric.
one you
Okay,
like.
cool. All right. Would you like to? Can I promise him to one of my daughters, Becca, who's 14 this year? And I will give when they marry, I'll give her a manor so he can become enfeoffed.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great.
All right. So you want to make? Who wants to make a note that Cedric has promised to Becca,
Yes, let me
or
put
vice
that in my
versa?
notes. You said it was Becca?
Yeah. BECA. Becca.
No,
Okay.
I knew that was going to make a comeback.
And is that Gwgan's
That's
daughter?
Gwgan's second daughter.
Got it.
Well, what's next?
Training and practice for me. I am going to take a point of intrigue, bringing me to a 20 intrigue. I am up to glory.
I'm done. I've finished.
I have a question, AP.
Yes.
Do I gain any glory for either of my heirs' marriages this year?
Do you gain glory for their
But-
marriages?
But so like one of them is marrying into the family, the Countess of Ridichan's
Yeah.
family. So would
I think you can get glory for attending the marriage. I don't
Okay.
know that you get glory for the marriage. They
Okay,
get glory
that's-
from
that's
each
fine.
other.
okay.
I'll give you 50 glory.
You're on mute, Spoon.
Sorry, I put 1 point into my battle, making it a 17. And then I have not hit a 1,000 point mark yet in glory. Close, though.
What are you on now?
After my annual glory, ooh, I'm 25 points away from hitting it.
So hitting 10,000.
Yeah, from hitting 10K.
Yeah.
I am at 4428. I did go over 4,000 this year, so I get an extra point, and I'm gonna put it into con. That brings my con back up to 15 and my hit points back to 30.
Nice.
Unless there's other business to stand on, I think it's fair to say that we've fully encapsulated this episode within 2 hours. And next time we're going to get back to basics. 1 episode, 1 year. We're going back, baby. No more battles. There's going to be no more battles for the rest of the show. Arthur's going to show up. He's just going to hold up a sword, and everyone's going to be like, he's the High King. It's hard to deny it. I see the sword. It's like some kind of sword of victory. Ah, yes. Warhammer 40k Pendragon hybrid. Let me get busy describing a rogue trader bloodline that revolves around 3 warrants of trade, all held by families that shifted around.
Oh, Spoon. Speaking of, so someone's mentioned Imperial Knights. You know, though, have you seen like the Joy Toy Warhammer figures?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see they've announced the other day they're doing a knight one, like an Imperial Knight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 27 inches tall, I think it is. It's on. You can pre-order it now for $699 US.
Oh, Jesus!
Wow.
Oh my God!
Spoon, don't forget you have to pay tariffs for the overseas shipping.
Yeah. Oh my
Now
God!
I need to do my money because I'm spending a shitload of money.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right.
I also need to build a building. I forgot.
So
What's the name of your cathedral, James?
What's a good saint to go off?
St. Bridget.
I feel like I might go with St. Jude's, patron saint of lost causes.
I have 5 different responses, and I have to abandon all of them because I'm not a toxic negativity streamer.
Not anymore. What would the old Arthur have said, AP?
No, you can't chat GPT me.
So I build a carpenter and joinery.
Is there a patron saint of adulterers? Wow. Okay, relax, but yes.
Saint Monica is she's the patron saint of victims of adultery. Sorry.
Yes. Look, if there's a patron saint of electrical engineers, I would be shocked if there wasn't a patron saint of adultery. No, she's the saint of alcoholics. Interesting. See, there's a saint for everything. It's like they told me back in Boy Scouts before the internet was a thing. You can get a magazine on any topic. Magazines are the future.
So my carpenter and joinery increases my, so it decreases my peasants hate landlord, which then thereby increases my concern my commoner's role.
Wow.
Yes. Right.
All right, I need a name for
what? For what?
my new squire.
His name is Ash.
I was gonna, but okay.
You could choose any name you want, but I was just thinking maybe Squire Ash was so interested in collecting information about all the different Wessex knights and Saxons and the different categories of all the enemies of England. He just wants to find all their details and capture them. All of them.
Excellent.
He wants
Does
to
anyone
catch
else
them all.
need a squire this year by chance?
No, I do not.
I didn't have an extra.
AP, can I say that I've sent Bronwyn off to be squired with someone else in the realm?
Sure. Is there anyone in particular you're looking for, or you just want to anonymously have them go out and come back?
I do have a vassal knight that he could squire with.
Oh, actually, wait a minute. I did just. Well, no, he can't squire in my family. Yeah, sure. I'll squire him with your vassal knight.
I will send him to Sir Paul.
So just AP letting you know that next year will be at the end of the year. Will be when Owain's heir Blodwyn comes of age.
Yes,
and
I have a note here that
Gwgan,
Lady Epona becomes a lady.
Yeah, Gwgan will fade into the west.
Oh, trust me, I've been sitting here in 506 waiting for 506 for a long time. So each year has its own Google sheet, and 506 has had a sheet since 491.
Are we all retiring at this point? Or...
You don't have to. You can choose when to. It's just
Okay.
the thing to note is that the kids get your glory at the moment of your death, I think.
No,
Yeah.
if you're still alive and they hit 21, they get their glory based upon your glory when they turn 21.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't get any glory for what you get after they turn 21.
Ah, okay.
Is she intend? Is it a woman?
Yeah, Blodwyn. Yeah, she is.
Is you intend her to be a knight? I assume.
Yeah, she's that was the intent. Yeah, but I
She's
also
been squired with Sir Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned her over to AP for secrecy's sake.
Yeah.
And,
just so that I have it, AP, would he get? Would Elfin get? Heiress of a, is it younger daughter of a baron? Is that the glory he would get? Or heiress of a wealthy vassal knight?
This is for the one marrying the Countess
into
Countess of
Radichan.
Radichan's.
Yeah, I think probably
Second
more
daughter.
than that.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
say.
So sorry, because I was looking at this chart the other day because it's her first daughter, right?
Yes.
So it is not the younger daughter of a baron. It is the first daughter of a countess. Just like Baron Hewell's daughter is not the second daughter of the baron. She is the first daughter of the baron. So it would theoretically be more.
I was going to say like 500.
Okay. 500 works for me since 250 is the youngest, so I'd say that works.
just remember the year 514 is when the round table is formed, and you need 8,000 glory to join it. So either you got to stay alive till then if you got 8,000 glory, or you got to get your character up to 8,000 glory.
Listen, I plan to ride Kendric until the wheels fall off. So
Okay.
It's happening a lot faster than you thought.
listen, I was very surprised to make it to 40
Yeah.
from 485.
Me too. I'm getting pretty close.
So
I think you're forced retirement when you hit 3 in a stat, I think.
Yes, yeah. Because I think that makes you bedridden. I think, and then
that's right.
a 0 in stat kills you. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Any closing notes for the day?
I guess we'll talk about it during the week, but I guess my question would be if I stop playing Kyned as a player character, can he sit around in the background?
He's mine now, bitch.
Continuing to be the spy master.
Sure. Under my control.
Under your control.
I'm fully aware of the fact that when I turn over Gwgan to AP, he's going to become the Salisbury Strangler.
Jesus. This isn't the crap strangler. I've been trying to kill that bit forever. The Salisbury Strangler.
What is who's the guy from The Office shows up to Halloween with the blood on his? He's like, oh, it's Halloween. What a great coincidence.
Well, I haven't seen The Office.
So there's a character in it that it's never confirmed or denied. I think whether or not he's the Scranton Strangler, but it's very very likely. And there's a Halloween episode where he shows up to the office and he's got blood on his shirt and it's Halloween, but he pretends not to know or doesn't know and has just killed someone.
Now, just to be clear, this show takes place in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it'd be weird to have Scranton be mentioned.
Yeah, no, it is the Scranton of Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Right. We're
Wow.
going to be here next week?
Don't see why not.
Yeah, should be.
Very well.
I
We'll all
believe
turn
so,
40
let me
next week.
pull my calendar up.
Oh, I'm already 41.
I meant in real life.
Oh, okay. I'm not 41 yet then.
I'm not 41 yet either.
This week when I went to see Critical Role, I ran into my nephew there, and I saw his father and my sister have been separated for a long time, and I haven't seen his father for like close to 20 years now. But his father came to Sydney to go to Critical Role with him because his father was into gaming as well. And so once again, I haven't seen this person in like 20 odd years, and it struck me as when I saw him, I had to actually process the fact that he's nearly 60 when I realized how old he looked, because he was just like old and gaunt looking. And it's like, shit, yeah, he is almost. My sister's 57 and he was older. So,
Yeah.
James is saying that time catches up with us all and no one can live forever. And that the death of the universe and your death are as equally distant. To you, anyway.
I asked him what he thought of the show. He goes, "Oh, it's interesting." I'm like, okay. You've driven 6 hours from Port Macquarie to Sydney to come watch the show with your son, and it's interesting.
Interesting.
He didn't like award-winning Broadway actor, writer, producer,
Sam Riegel.
Scanlon Shorthalt, literally creating entirely new musical parodies on stage. The man could have gone on to be a Broadway director at a level none of us can consider, the new Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he made a conscious choice to play Dungeons and Dragons.
That was one of the jokes of the show, because I had Tom Cardy as a special guest star who was playing a bard who kept like making up songs on the spot, and Sam's like, oh, wow, anybody that can make up songs on the spot must become a kind of genius.
Fantastic. I'm now going back to the goodbye screen, but we're not coming back if someone starts a new story. We're leaving.
Okay, well, actually, so hey, I'm just